is your opinion of what the NFL is trying to do, which is play this season?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to start there because I want to get your opinion also of what is happening in college sports. So I'm going to transition from booze and lifestyle and COVID to actually a couple minutes of just getting some opinion here. What do you think first about the NFL? And by the way, are you watching Hard Knocks? Are you seeing the
No,
Rams? You're not seeing the Rams.
no. I don't. I mean, I don't. College football is a disappointment to me. I mean, you and I to a point. Pitt might finish in the top 20 for the first time ever, but there'll be an asterisk that three of the big Power Five didn't play, and that's how they got there. So
There were only 20 teams playing. That's how they got into
exactly.
the top 20.
And we're currently. I mean, you've seen all their fan groups are like, we cracked the top 20, and it's like there's 18 teams playing this year. I don't know. It's weird that way. I think the biggest problem is, you get guys, like Olave. Remember we had Olave on from Ohio State, the receiver. A projected number one guy like that in the draft is his senior year. I mean, I think at some point they should at least let these kids transfer for their final year eligibility, maybe to play at some of these other conferences that are playing. Still, I mean, it's just such a big thing. You imagine, even when we played, just to lose your senior year over this is just, I think it's a tragedy. I mean, don't let people in the stands. Make it like baseball. But at least let them play and get some TV money, from the contract, because people will still watch.
Wait. Let me get okay. So we transitioned here. So as far as college football is concerned,
mm-hmm.
you have to think that since the Pac-12 is canceled and the Mountain West is canceled, but the SEC and Big Ten, and the SEC still says they're going to play. The ACC still says they're going to play, and with those schools or with those conferences, when the Pac-12 and when the Pac-12 says we're not playing, the Mountain West says we're not playing. When the SEC and the ACC say we are playing, then other conferences like little ones like Conference USA says, oh, well, we're in Tennessee and West Virginia and Texas and Florida, so we'll play too. So there seems to be some conferences that are getting set to play. You think this is a good idea?
I do. I don't, again, not that the virus isn't real or anything, but I mean, at some point it's each day that goes by, it's less deadlier and deadlier, we find out. And obviously people with pre-existing conditions have the biggest issue, but a lot of people are testing positive, but I don't see a lot of, healthy athletes dying, if any. So to play there and let these freaking earbuds, hold on.
For those of you that are watching, Burt has his
first time I've ever had him in.
Wait, Burt has his fiance's earbuds in, and Burt's a big guy, and he's probably got just little standard size earbuds, and they fall out,
Yeah.
Especially the one on the left ear.
Same as when you buy those Magnum rubbers, or you do, not me.
What, I fall out?
You fall out. Yeah, you're the earbuds. Sorry.
You were saying.
Yes.
That you think college football should play?
I do. I mean, if baseball can play and the NBA's playing, I think they should play. And again, a worst case scenario, don't let people in the stands. Let a lot of high schools back east or other places are going ahead with football and fall sports. They're only letting family in the stands, so obviously they can socially distance. But I just don't know how this comes down. I mean, there's so many kids that get to college or inner city kids that have to have that outlet of sports that I just think it's a shame to take it away from them, and the damages becomes a whole different deal. You
don't think that the NCAA, a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, can sustain a year off and give these kids another opportunity or give these kids another platform to exercise their talent as opposed to just running them out there?
What other platform can they give them to exercise their talent?
They can hold pro days for seniors. They can hold competitions or workouts to set up guys who have NFL prospects or guys who have NFL hopes and dreams so they can show themselves in front of these teams. I think if you're going to run these guys out there not knowing the full effects of this, then you're going to be financially liable if, unfortunately, one of them dies from this or has long-lasting effects from it. Like
CTE, right? They're not financially obligated for that, but you're talking about like a sport that how many people get CTE down the road and they're not obligated to that, and we haven't changed any of that, and we still do that, and I can guarantee that rate's going to be much higher than COVID killing football players are even getting them sick.
Right, but
we don't do anything about that. We don't do
Wait,
anything
hold on,
about giving
Browner.
them.
Well, Browner, hold that thought. Burt, hold that thought. Don't go anywhere, everybody. I want to keep this conversation going, and we'll bring Burt back. We'll have Burt spend the hour with us here as we come back onto 1090. No, you're going to stick around. Hold on a second.
Right.
Thank you to Corky's Pest Control, 1-800-901-1102. Thank you to Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services, 858-376-1299. Get your interest rates under 3% and start saving some money with Gary. And thank you to Torrey Holistics, because you can save 20% by using our promo code 1090. Go to our website, Kaplan and Crew. Click on Torrey Holistics. Show it when you walk in the store. Use it when you buy online for delivery. Torrey Holistics, and use our promo code 1090. All right, more with Burt Grossman, because they were right in the middle of a thought here, so don't go anywhere.
Okay, let's just keep going.
Keep going. Okay. All right, Friday afternoon on Kaplan and Crew with Grande Alejandro Padilla, with the big Brown himself, John Browner, and Burt Grossman in the middle of this conversation. We were talking, Burt, about should college football play. Browner, you were in the middle of jumping into all of this.
But something before that we don't miss. The NCAA did say yesterday that any fall student that plays any sort of games, whether you play 12 or 1 or whatever, this year is not counting towards like a year of eligibility. So you have another year after this year.
good.
So that's something, at least.
Good. That's a step forward to making safety first. I understand your concern with CTE, but CTE being a long-term effect of football, you don't know when CTE actually comes in. High school kids could possibly be developing CTE. You can't sue high school. You can sue college because of the amount of money that they make now, and obviously you can sue the NFL because that's a private business. With what's happening with COVID, this is a global issue, and I think we need to be more cautious about this as opposed to running head on into it. Because again, North Carolina canceled their classes. The University of Notre Dame canceled their classes because they had people come back too soon. They don't have a way of monitoring all these kids.
I realize that, but again, we've gotten to the point, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a hoax or anything, but we've gotten to the point where just because somebody tests positive, we're canceling all this shit. If I went to North Carolina and tested for herpes, you know how many people test positive, but we ain't canceling classes.
Because you're not tackling
I'm not, but I'm saying that the death rate for COVID to me, the funny part is this. Look, forever it was, and this isn't a conspiracy, so don't get me wrong, but forever it was, kids from 1 to 15 are immune to it. And then the month we start school, 900,000 kids test positive. It's like, what kind of timing is that? And I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, I'm saying football as a lone sport has so many different long-term physical everything dangers that I don't think COVID for the players is even near the top 10 of things that can happen to a college or professional football player.
But these things are avoidable with COVID. It's a respiratory issue. It causes respiratory, sometimes heart conditions for certain players. I understand what you're saying. You're saying play because one guy getting it shouldn't stop everybody from playing. I agree.
Or sign a waiver, or make people sign a waiver. But it's just like anything else. If you have pre-existing conditions as an athlete, you wouldn't be passing the physical anyway to even play football, let alone with COVID. But I mean, I just think at some point that, again, I don't go for the tailgating and going crazy, but I'm saying I think they should play and be able to be on TV or radio or have the opportunity to play and just have family there, nobody there. But they should have the opportunity to play, and if they want to sign a waiver, they can sign a waiver. But if
I want to ask you a question though, Burt. Burt, you're saying that if you're a kid like Chris Olave, who played here at Mission Hills High School in San Diego, and you've gone to Ohio State and you've turned yourself into a top-level caliber NFL first-round draft choice talent, and Ohio State and the Big Ten cancel football season for this year, that a kid like Olave should be allowed by the NCAA to transfer to the University of Florida or Georgia or Tennessee, or by the way, your dog is taking a giant dump right behind you right now.
Look.
Yeah, look at this. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm saying absolutely. Because here it goes. When it becomes health and safety, we're worried about these young kids and we're worried about what's best for them. Well, in his career and a lot of these kids that miss their senior year, what's best for them is go transfer. So let them transfer them and give them a waiver. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, "Oh, we care for these kids," because everybody knows that's not true. I mean, were you ever a part of like like Scott Miller used to tell the story about when we were playing Rutgers in the Meadowland and I hurt my neck and he walks into the shower and like the showers are dripping. It looks like a prison in the Meadowlands. And I'm getting like 2 needles from like Dr. Fu on each side of my neck simultaneously just to go out and play shitty ass Rutgers in a second half. That we're already probably up by 50. So I don't think anybody thinks that they really care about these athletes. And when you start to bring it up, oh, I care about their safety, that's BS. It is.
Well, why do you think, Burt Grossman, why do you think that the Pac-12 bailed? Why do you think the Mountain West shut down? If it's, and I'm asking very seriously, if you don't think it's that they're concerned about player safety and you think that, well, all these colleges and all these conferences are just money hungry, why would they shut down?
Because politically, the West Coast is dominated politically by a different what should I say, set of values, set of anything. But I understand why it's shut down here. I mean, why would shut down Uber and Lyft? I don't know. And other states didn't. We're